One. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to We Are Tottenham TV pre-pump up show for the game between Ipswich and Tottenham. I hope everybody is well around the world watching, and today I have an esteemed panel of Spurs diehards, TTID. All three gentlemen on screen belong to this one channel, superb channel, and as it says in the description, they are diehard Tottenham fans. So, good afternoon. Ian, how are you, sir?
Oh, good afternoon, Jose. Always a pleasure to be on with you, and of course my fellow diehards, Adrian and Chang. Optimistic about today. Although I've seen some early team news that's maybe not as good as I hoped for, but we'll see if that proves to be accurate in 10 minutes or so.
Adrian, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
I'm happy. I'm looking forward to getting 3 points today. I'm confident we'll get the win. Confidence has been boosted. Previous two games, we haven't conceded a goal in the league. We all right? We went out of 2 cups, but 2 wins on the spin. Yeah, and players coming back. You know, all I need is a lottery win to make my day even better.
And Chang, sir, how are you today?
I am so very delighted and somewhat overjoyed to be joined by my founding fathers or the founding member of Spurs Diehards, Mr. Ian Meff and Mr. Stroker. And absolutely looking forward to the remainder of the show and to the match as well. It's been a rather, tumultuous start to the calendar year, it's got to be said. But if anything, the clean sheet and the win at home against United last Sunday should have set us on our way towards ending the season on a high, hopefully. And I'm pretty sure we will go in detail with regards to the Europa League fixture against Alkmaar, now that it's really been decided and it's been drawn. And cannot wait for kickoff, but more importantly, can't wait to get on with the rest of the show. Having said that, back to you, Senor Garcia.
So I was just reading up some stats before we go into the game today, and it's Ipswich Town secured their first Premier League win for 22 years when they won at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on the 10th of November. But since then, they've only claimed 2 more top flight victories. And the Tractor Boys are the only Premier League side yet to win a league match in 2025, having drawn 2 and lost 4 of their last 6 matches. And they've lost 6 of their last 7 home league games, including the last 3 by an aggregate of a score of 1-10. And Ipswich have 1 win and 9 goals at home in the Premier League this season, the joint lowest with Southampton. Tottenham, however, have won back-to-back Premier League fixtures for only the second time this season. And on each occasion, those wins came against Brentford and Man United. So Tottenham are now aiming today to win 3 league games in a row for the first time since December 2023. While they last did so without conceding in May 2022. And Spurs have kept successive clean sheets in the top flight for the first time since October 2023. So they're the omens for today, guys. So I'll ask you, do you think, Ian, that we owe Ipswich one for what happened?
Oh, absolutely. I think more to the point, I think the players owe the fans one. Funny, I'm going back to your prediction competition, and I think I was the only one that predicted us to get beat 2-1 at home because we just hadn't played well in the games following a European night. I just had a bad feeling about it, but I don't today. I think there's more pressure on them. They're playing at home. They've lost a number of games, losing to Southampton. Let's be honest, nobody is losing to Southampton at the moment. So I just want us to take control of the game early, take a grip of the midfield and go and do them because, their confidence can't be high. They will have in mind they've beaten us already this season and have got a chance to do the double. It's not acceptable for a team like Ipswich to do the double over us. So I am optimistic that we will do the business today.
Adrian?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're getting to the team and predicted lineups, but with players coming back, the permutations just are endless now. I mean, like, it's very hard to predict the lineup. And whatever lineup we know will be strong and energetic, and they'll be able to press because they've been rested. So I'm expecting us to come out the traps and really go at them.
And for you, Chan?
I think it's very important for whichever players that take to the field later, especially the starters that come to mind, that they really give Ange food for thought why they should be starters against Alkmaar more than anything right now. I mean, not to dismiss our league form completely. We have to now focus on maybe ending the season on a high. And for me, I really want us to go all the way in the Europa League. Having said that, the players have to make an impression. And this would be I would say that this is a first step in the long run up to the knockout stage against Alkmaar. Having said that, I think some players, am I to understand that Son is a doubt for today's match, or has he been ruled out completely?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, assuming though that he's not ruled out completely, I would actually like to see him get some rest. Same can be said about Kulusevski. Both of them have been absolutely working their socks off, and I think if there were any other player on our squad, I think they deserved the most when it comes to rest and recuperation. But other than that, for those returning players, I mean, they really need to show Big Ange why they should be in contention for starting berths against Alkmaar, home and away. And for the likes of Jet Spence and especially Vicario, I really hope they carry on from where they left off last Sunday against United. 3 clean sheets on the trot is not beyond the realms of impossibility. However, Ipswich isn't to be taken for granted. Having said that as well, I think the game should be won in that first half because second half might be rather edgy, knowing our away form. I mean, don't get me wrong, we did keep a clean sheet and we did beat Brentford last time we played away in the league. But I'm not going to be counting my blessings anytime soon, especially when it comes to our away league form. But yeah, after all is said and done, I really am looking forward to the match and up the lads. Come whatever may at full time, I'm still fully behind the team, the players, and Big Ange, and I cannot wait for kickoff to get underway, Jose. Having said that, back to you, FA.
So we are a couple of minutes away from the lineups being announced. But I was going to say, now all of a sudden, Ian said something when he spoke a minute ago.
Yeah.
I can see some people in the chat putting comments in there. Now, I was going to say that, isn't it good? Postecoglou did his press conference yesterday, said that everyone's come through with flying colours from the last game. We've had a week worth of training, some rest for some players, but a week worth of training, and now we play again today. And now I'm hearing that we might have some injuries. So that wasn't what he told us yesterday. So I was going to say, isn't it a breath of fresh air for us? A bit like Adrian alluded to, that we're not playing games thick and fast like we were. We've got players coming back, so that should make your starting 11 stronger and should make your bench stronger. So if Ange needs to use 15 or 16 players in a game, then we should be stronger for it. However, they're now saying that we've got some knocks and injuries. What can you tell me that you've heard, Ian?
Yeah, just something I'm picking up on Spurs ITK Hub. It's come from Midas, who is rated as a tier 1, that few injuries stroke doubts. Ange isn't revealing today, but then goes on, Davis, Sarr and Maddison won't start because of knocks. So that's what I'm reading, which I think is a real pity, but I'd have probably had 2 of those 3 in my starting lineup, but there you go. I don't pick the team anyway, but that's on X. We will find out in 2 or 3 minutes. I just I got the time right. Yeah, it's a couple of minutes away from the team coming out. So yes, we'll find out soon enough whether that's right.
Oh, okay. So if Kulu's not playing, if Maddison's not playing, if Maddison's not playing, then surely Kulu goes into the 10 slot, doesn't he?
I think that would make sense. It would to me anyway. But I see. I would have rested. I would have rested Porro, Son, and Kulusevski today. And it's an ideal opportunity to rest them. Got to rest some players at some point. So I wouldn't have played him today. And he might not. He might play Bergvall further forward and play Bissouma and Bentancur, for example. Yeah, you don't know what's going through his head, but I do think that Kulu is tired and jaded, and certainly last 3 or 4 weeks has not been quite at his best. But we'll find out, as I say. Second guess managers all day. It's what social media gives us a chance to do.
And with that being said, the side has been announced, and I'm going to bring it up now.
Oh, you've got it. Brilliant. It's brilliant. Danso, Gray, Udogi.
There you go.
Yeah, the current Spence, Danso, Udogi, Gray, Bergvall, Bentancur. He's going to play Kulusevski. Tell Son, yeah. See, I'd have given Son a rest and played Odebeer or something. But look, hey, it is what it is.
And our subs bench is Kinski, Porro, Reguilon, Bissouma Sarr, Maddison, Moore, Odebeer, Scarlett.
Yeah, strong.
Adrian,
thoughts?
Yeah, good lineup. I mean, I thought I wondered whether it would yesterday when I went on our show, whether it would be Gray and Danso, whether it would be Danso and Davies. So he's gone with Gray and Danso. So I think Davies has just been given a rest.
He's not made the bench, Adrian Davies.
He's not made the bench. Well,
no.
Then they might have got a slight knock in training or felt something. I didn't expect to see you doggy back. You know, so obviously Spence is going to play on the right, which we all wanted to see. I mean, he's better going. He's the best right back going forward in the league, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Bergvall, I love. Bentancur, when he's on song, I've said in many a podcast in the past, you know, apart from the troubles he's had, being banned and things like that, that he would be my first pick in midfield if he was fitting back to his previous best form, which he was coming back to after his ACL before he got his suspension again. And then I thought it was excellent away at Brentford, defensively in front of the line. So he can do that job. It's going to be interesting to see what role him and Bergvall actually play, whether which one sits deeper or whether they play as a midfield pivot. Kulu, well, what can you say about him? 9 goals and 10 assists. He's been our best player this season. Although to the eye test, he hasn't looked at his best in the last couple of games. He has looked tired, but he's obviously rested. You know, in these weeks, and he's young, 23, believe it or not, or 24. You wouldn't think that, would you? Yeah. Johnson, pace again. Son, pace again. Tell, pace again. A pacey front three. Want to see Johnson and Son have a good game. Well, you want to see them all have a good game, but because Sonny's numbers are good. I think 10 goals and 8 assists in all competitions, but on the eye test, he hasn't looked good, is he? If I go by the eye test, and he hasn't looked great, has he? I mean, like, he was very energetic the last game, though. He did show more energy, though. So it looks like the rest might be the thing that's he's dragging anchors during a game, you know. So Tell still too small a sample to judge him on, but he's shown flashes. He looked annoyed with himself that he didn't score against Man United when we won. And he does look a prospect, but then again, you know, if anything, our front three is not the most experienced, is it, with Tell and Johnson? So back to you.
Something that was said, Pedro Porro's got a rest camp and he's brought Spence in to play at right back. I would argue that in the last 2 months that Spence has played football, he, for me, looks the best left or right back in the country, in the Premiership at the moment. What are your thoughts, Chan? Is he better on the right? Is he better on the left? What do you think of Spence and his appearances and how he's been with us?
Naturally, I would definitely prefer Spence on the right, and if anything, I would say that he looks more comfortable on the right. The few times that we've seen him on the left, especially against Liverpool, when he had to try and nullify Salah, I thought he was okay on that left, but I felt that he was rather, underutilized. Don't get me wrong, he still did put in a good shift, but I would definitely have preferred him on the right. And having said that, I was actually expecting Udogi to get minutes last Sunday, but since Udogi didn't come off the bench in the dying minutes, instead it was Odebeer. So it's good to see Udogi get a start on the left, and I'm glad that Spence is back to where he belongs on the right. And I am actually expecting our midfielders to actually get some freedom up top, as in they don't have to track back so often, or rather, I hope they don't have to, so that actually leaves more space for the likes of Spence and Udogi to bomb forward if and when it's required. But yeah, as for Jet Spence, I mean, he has to keep this up. Don't get me wrong, he has been playing well, but if he is to be considered, or rather, if he has to try and force his way into the England setup under Thomas Tuchel, then the only way that that's possible is for him to just keep up what he's doing, to just carry on from where he's left off against United, and let's just wait and see what the next 90 minutes bring for us and him. But yeah, it's great to see him back where he belongs at the right back. And I really do hope he just keeps up with his good work and not just let this be a sort of a fluke, a sort of a flash in a pan from him. Although I think he's learned his lessons. He's learned his lessons on loan away and under Conte as well. So let's just hope that he cements this spot at right back, and that would actually give Porro himself food for thought whether he should sort of buck up on his defensive work, or maybe he has to do something different, sort of like force his way into the right midfield. But as far as Spence is concerned, I am happy that he's playing well, and let's just hope for the best from him, and also from the rest of the lads in the coming 2 hours or so. Okay. Having said that, back to you, FA.
Yeah,
So
I mean, just add,
just at the bottom there, I've just put in the link for these three gentlemen on their channel at Spurs Diehards TTID. They would appreciate some love and some support over there. They're growing their channel. They've started recently, not long ago. They're doing well, but they need more assistance. So please show some love. The leader of the pack is at the top at the moment. I call him fondly the Oracle. He is Tottenham, Mr. Tottenham for me through and through. Knows absolutely everything. So please, guys, if you can, go over and show some love to Spurs diehards. It would be great. Thank you very much, everyone. And Ian, sorry, you were just about to say.
yeah, I was just looking at the team. We don't have a reserve centre half with three injured, with Van der Ven, Romero, and now Davis out. So that's still a problem. Although thankfully Gray's been excellent there, but I hope Danso is okay because he got a knock last week. So hopefully he's okay. Gray, the more I look at him, the more I think he just may develop into a central defender. I think we're all desperate to see him play in midfield, and I would have played him in midfield today. But I think there's every chance that centre half will be his permanent position. I certainly don't rule that out, although we are quite well stocked with players in that position, not just with the other three that we've got, but with Dorrington, Phillips, and Vlaskovic. Have I pronounced that right, Adrian? Vuskovic coming in next season. But we will see. I think with Udogi, though, it's also interesting that he's put Reguilón on the bench, which perhaps suggests that he's not convinced that Udogi will get 90 minutes, which wouldn't be surprising considering he's been out a little while. But regardless, is that someone's kettle boiling? Regardless of that, we've got a goalkeeper, two fullbacks, 3 midfield players in Biss, Sarr and Maddison. Don't know how fit Sarr and Maddison are, but we'll see. And then, more Odegaard and Scarlett can all come on. I mean, in fact, if he'd have started with that 3, you wouldn't be going, oh my God, that's terrible. So there are options for the first time. The other thing I want to add to what Spencer said is what Chang has said, rather, regarding Spence and Adrian as well, because I think Spence is certainly the best fullback in the club at the moment. It's taken a while for him to get there. But if you look at that Casemiro chance that he blasted over the bar last Sunday, when he should have made it 1-1. Again, where was Porro? I did Scarfy's show on Thursday night, and I actually said, has he gone off to the toilet or something? Because watching it 2 or 3 times, it's like, where was he? And you look at the number of goals we've conceded on that right-hand side of our defence, where the fullback's been Porro has been absent without leave. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, as well as Spence's attacking forages, that he's back defending and staying in position, and curbing them on their left hand side. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to add. The more I look at this, the more I like the look of it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Spence at right back. Really looking forward to it. Excuse me.
You're mute, Jose.
Sorry, you talked about the pacey front 3, Adrian. But to me, we seem to have pace, not only the front 3, but with our fullbacks, we have pace there as well.
Yeah.
So it's quite. Someone's put in the chat that this is the same midfield that got turned over by Villa in the FA Cup. Does it concern you, the midfield?
Bergville, but no, not against Ipswich. It doesn't, because I know that all three of those in midfield can put in a shift, and they're dogged. I mean, Bergville he can put in a tackle. He's got 8 yellow cards this season, 4 in the league. So, and Bentancur, he can do it. Tulu can do it. They're all capable of holding the ball. You get these games where a set midfield don't perform, but I don't see that happening today against Ipswich. Interesting you're talking about the fullbacks, because last season I was eulogising about you, Doggy. Then he got that injury. He wasn't fit. He didn't have a proper pre-season. And to be honest, he's been poor when he's played this season, isn't he? So I want to see a performance from you, Doggy. A solid performance. His first game back starting 90 minutes. It ain't got to be like a man of the match performance. But one when he's like very hard to get the ball off of, and he goes on the odd marauding run down the left. He doesn't tend to invert like Porro does. That's in my opinion. Others disagree. So I want to see a performance. And Spence, I mean, like, we actually, he's done such a good job on the left. Like, and maybe I wondered if Ange might keep him there because he's right-footed. Because on the left he can invert, can't he? He can be an inverted fullback if that's what you want. But we haven't really seen much of him on the right, though, have we? We haven't. We're just assuming because he's done such a good job on the left, he'd do an even better job on the right, which he should do. But he certainly could do a job on the left for England, because there's a dearth of left backs for England. So, and I think he's in danger of a call up to the national side. I think
that would be fabulous. That would be so fabulous for someone whose career looked like it was almost ending before it started. And I think if he got in the England team, if that doesn't give him the motivation to really keep going.
We've swerved one in, hasn't he? He could have gone to Girona for £8.5 million. Now he's looking like a £50 million player. At his age, he's a £50 million player now,
Yeah, absolutely. What's interesting is that Ange in his press conference, the embargoed section yesterday, for people that have seen it or not seen it, the national media spoke a lot and asked Ange lots of questions at length about Jed Spence, and it was interesting his answers that he gave about Jed Spence. But moving on to you, Chang, I know that we're pumping up today's show, but do you think that there's a bit of Man City in mind where there'll be some rotation now that we have more players?
I think we have only to concentrate one game after the other rather than look too far ahead and what do you call this, look beyond what we have right in front of us. And honestly, I wouldn't even consider Man City uh, before the end of the day, because you can never take any game for granted, not even Ipswich away. Having said that, I think the lads out there, they should be fully concentrated and fully focused, fully invested in this match before us, rather than turning one eye towards City. I do have my concerns though, that some of the players out there, especially those who feel that they have a strong uh, probability of playing in midweek against City, they themselves might uh, sort of like hold something in reserve, or right, they won't really go all out if they know that they have another game in midweek. And I really hope that doesn't come to pass. Having said that though, I'm sure Big Ange himself is thinking about City, and which is why I go back to what I said earlier in the beginning of the show, that hopefully the game will already be won by halftime. In which case, then we can see a lot more substitutions, the same way we saw them last Sunday against United, where we made all 5 substitutions before the 90th minute, which is a rarity given Big Ange's hesitancy to make substitutions. But yeah, I really do hope we wrap this game up by the first half and bring on some substitutes, bring on the likes of Moore or Scarlett, or even give Beer some more minutes since his return. And you never know, we might even get a goal off from the bench. The last time that happened for us, we saw the likes of Moore and Scarlett score for us against Elfsborg. So yeah, it would be a welcome relief to see our bench subs get game time in the second half. But if I were Big Ange, I'd be firmly out there telling the players, focus only on what we have in the coming hour and a half, and put City in the back of our minds, because nothing can be taken for granted. There's absolutely no certainty that any of these players, not even Vicario, might be starting against City. So let's just keep focus and steadfast against Ipswich, and we can discuss City come tomorrow or even Monday. But right here and now, it's Ipswich away. Having said that, back to you, FA.
So for people in the chat, I've put my channel down there. If you'd like to come over to subscribe to me, that would be much appreciated. And I'm going to go to you, Adrian. This is the Ipswich lineup for today. Anything scare you or anything stand out for you with the Ipswich lineup?
No, I don't really know much about any of them, to be honest. I've heard all the hype around Delap, but no. No, Philogene was at Hull, wasn't he, at Villa? I think he went from Villa to Hull, the winger, didn't he? So he's probably got something about him, but not really. They are where they are because of their form and because their players aren't good enough, basically. So like these teams that come up, they have a few that are good, aren't they? Just to go back on our centre back situation, we haven't got cover, but you know what'll happen if one does get a knock. Spence will go in as a centre back, won't he? And then Porro would come on probably, so that'll do that. I want to know what you guys think. I don't see Sonny playing the whole 90 minutes with Man City coming up. An hour perhaps, and then another or someone. I don't know what you guys think.
I'd certainly like to see Odebear get a run. I don't know about Mikey Moore as well, but I'd like to see Odebear get a real run, like his pace, like his directness. Yeah, I mean, I would like, and Johnson may not be able to do a whole game either. So that gives a real opportunity.
Both could come on, couldn't
Mikey Moore and for Odebear.
Yeah.
Moore can play right or left. So
yeah.
Okay.
There's one.
Sorry,
there is one player.
Bobby Walters has become a YouTube member. Thank you very much, Bobby, for becoming a YouTube member. I'm sure the lads at We Are Tottenham TV will appreciate that. Sorry, Chang.
No, sorry. Yeah, I was just saying something about Calvin Phillips. I really fancied Calvin Phillips, and I thought he would be a good addition to our squad, even though he's not a certified starter. But I've really was looking forward to maybe us getting Calvin Phillips. But having said that, now that I have seen quite a lot of him for Ipswich in highlights, I'm rather glad that we didn't go for him. But I mean, I could be proven wrong, and this might be the one game that he might prove us all wrong if he were to, run the show in midfield and orchestrate something for Ipswich. Having said that, I believe that he should be the threat, or rather, he should be the player to watch out for in the next 90 minutes once kickoff gets underway. Other than that, I don't actually see anyone else in that lineup that actually scares me as what you would normally ask of the panel. If there's anyone in the opposition starting 11 that scares us. But yeah, for me, there's one player to be on the lookout for Ipswich, and that would be Calvin Phillips. Having said that, back to you, FA.
There are people in the chat that are saying that we need to watch out for Amari Hutchinson and Rory Delap. Would you agree with that, Ian?
Oh, totally. Delap's a good player. Delap's a really good player. I mean, we've been linked with him as we tend to get linked with every other player that can kick a ball straight. But is he a player that would improve us? Absolutely. Is he a player that takes us top 4 and beyond? I'm not sure, but he's a very, very good player, and that's another one I'll be looking forward to watching him and how our two central defenders cope with him, and indeed when he drifts left, and because he drifts across that front line, so whether the fullbacks tuck in and help out, which they're not the best at doing. But no, he's a seriously good player. Interesting comments from Chang about Calvin Phillips. Went to Manchester City, they didn't buy him. Pep doesn't make many mistakes, but that was one. He's a player that really does need to get his career back on track. Just hopefully not this afternoon.
Everton are winning 2-1 now. I've got that score in the prediction league.
Okay.
I've got 2-1.
That's blown my prediction out the window. Then I had 3-0.
Yeah, well, they were 2-0 up, Everton.
Yeah, it was 2 at half time. So I'm thinking, another Everton goal. But there you go. Okay.
Adrian, we have a previous employee playing against us today. Any thoughts on Mr. Jack Clark?
Well, when we bought him, he wasn't developed as he is now, and he went away. Then he went to Sunderland, didn't he, as well?
Yeah.
On the trip, and he started getting rave reviews. But that's in the Championship, and he's now coming to this side. He's got pace, isn't he? I mean, again, at Spurs, I didn't see much of him. Didn't really go and look too much of him, apart when we got him just to look some clips. I don't really know too much, but he did get good write-ups. He's a winger on his day. He's fast. Need to see something about him. We also have someone else, Jose, don't we? The Ipswich manager was coach at Tottenham, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he picks the side. I was talking more the players on the pitch that can affect it when they walk out onto the pitch. And you've got Jack Clark. I mean, looking at this team, you've got Godfrey. They've bought Godfrey, obviously, from Atlanta, or bought him back from Atlanta. Don't know much about their goalkeeper, Palmer. Is it Leif Davis plays left back for them, or full wing back? Leif Davis has been getting rave reviews this season. Yeah, Philogene has gone from Hull. I think that they've got something to prove to themselves. They're a very young side, Ipswich. A bit like most teams.
I wouldn't say they were young with Godfrey and O'Shea and Phillips. Phillips has got Phillips has got to be 30 now. Don't know how Godfrey, and if that's John O'Shea, I mean, he's got to be about 56, isn't he?
It's not John O'Shea. It's Darragh O'Shea. It's not John.
Oh, right, okay. See, this is how much I know about Ipswich. So Godfrey's not a spring chicken. I couldn't tell you about the others. I don't know,
Philogene. Their front four are young. Philogene, Hutchinson, Clark, and Delap are all young. But so they've got young players in their side. But I was going to say, so have every other team in the Premiership. Everyone seems to be young central.
Well, I think we are the youngest, or can put out the youngest team. The only team can put out a younger team than us is Chelsea. Mind you, they've got about 56 players to choose from. So, I mean, it's a bit different. So, I mean, our young side is very young. We've added young to it, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like, look, I mean, I've always said when people say there's shock results in the Premier League, it never surprises me. When you look at the bottom, say 6, 8 in the Premier League, you know, not necessarily the bottom, those that finish the bottom 3, but the teams that survive relegation, they don't survive relegation on their away form. It's on their home form, and they always take big scalps during the season, 1 or 2 or whatever. And people are all surprised. Well, what do you think keeps these less wealthy teams who haven't got the resources of us rich boys? Like, what do you think keeps them in the Premier League? You know, it's their home form. They might get 1 away win a season when, say, a player from the opposing team gets sent off or something like that happens. You know, so and Ipswich are in that group, aren't they? I mean, I just don't see them living with us. They could turn around and shock me, of course, and I could be proven wrong. But like, I just don't see it. I think got too much quality for them. Too much, yeah, and that is the difference: quality in midfield, quality in the players.
Chang,
Right
now
here,
that
FA.
you've seen the lineups and that,
Mhm.
what are your thoughts? What do we need to do today? I don't want to score yet. I need to understand from you. What do we need to do today?
We need to go forward. It's as simple as that. We can't afford to sort of wait for the opposition to get at us, because the last thing we need is to let the home faithful get behind their team. Having said that, I want us to come out straight off from kickoff to go straight at them, get right in their faces, win every second ball, and not be passive when going forward. Having said that as well, this I think would be high time. It's high time we actually see Johnson do something productive, especially now that he's had his chance to return from his lengthy spell on the sidelines. And for once, I would actually like to see him take on his man. I know we keep saying this time and time and time again about Johnson, but at some point he has to grow up, he has to mature, and time is running out for him, honestly, with the way he carries on, with not really being productive. I know he has been scoring, don't get me wrong, he has been scoring, but as a winger, as a wide player, he should be able to either be able to find his man with his crosses, or be able to take on his, his marker. And I think this would be the best way for him to get back into Big Angel's good books, and really, try not to say that he will be a certain starter against Alkmaar, but at least give the manager food for thought. And I think the same also can be said for Captain Son. Son, for me, I mean, he did do okay against United, but I mean, this whole season, and not only this season, even the latter stages of last season, he was rather, disappointing. And I'm being very generous with my assessment of that. I think he has to find some way to either reinvent himself or find an extra gear and end the season on a high, because otherwise, then that's another. That's going to be yet another reason why some fans will want to see the back of him. Although I honestly, down to bare bones, bare knuckles, still feel that he has something left to offer, whether it's on the pitch or off the pitch. I think Son is still a valuable asset for both club and to his teammates, but Son needs to be able to contribute rather than just be a figurehead in that team. So yeah, for me, we really have to get at Ipswich from the off. And our wingers, both Son and Johnson, they need to be supplying the crosses and the assists for Tel. And I really do hope Tel adds to his tally from the goal that he scored. Although it was a consolation, but it was the goal nonetheless. Against was it against no was it, yeah, it was against Villa. So yeah, I really do hope Tel scores his first league goal for us. And yeah, can't wait. Absolutely cannot wait for kickoff to get underway. Up the lads, and come on, you Spurs. Back to you, FA.
Man United have just equalised apparently, so it's 2-2 now.
Whoa.
With Everton. So it comes to that part of the show where everybody in the chat going to ask you for your predictions in the chat and your goal scorers if you like to as well. But what I'll do is I'm going to start with the panel, and Ian, I'm going to go over to you first while people in the chat start getting their results.
Okay. Oh, well, I'll stick with what I said last night. We're going to win 3-0. Goal scorers, I never understand how you can predict goal scorers, but let's have a go with Tell, Kulusevski, and Son.
So 3-0 to Tottenham, Tell, Kulusevski, and Son.
Yeah.
Interesting start. Right, we've got in the chat, Amide says 3-1 to Tottenham. Choppy says Tottenham 4, Ipswich 0. Trying to go back because I had more people putting in there. Triple Moggy says Spurs to win 4-0. Orde Esfacere says it's going to be 2-1 to us or them. Could go either way. Bobby Walters says Tottenham 3-1 today. I think Son 2 and Tell gets 1. Denzel says 3-0 to Spurs. Jay Murray says his prediction is 6-1.
What about the second set, Murray? Or Jay Murray.
Aidan Jermaine says think 2-1 to Spurs. Guliang Wong says 4-0 to Spurs. And then if I go further down, will I find some more? Yeah, here we go. They're starting to come through now. Ian Krishna says 4-1 to Spurs. Tell, Wilson Johnson, and Enciso with their consolation. Rocco England says, or Rocco ENG says 2-1 to Spurs. VPXZX says 3-2, I think. Toby Tottenham says 3-1 to Spurs. Mungie 32 is 4-2. Tell, Son Brace, and Brennan up the Spurs. Lazy 8 Nick, good morning to you, sir. Says 1-3 to Spurs. Rappers 57. Rappers 57 says 2-0. Hotspur Stew says 3-0 to Spurs. Moabi Lothwal says 5-2 to Spurs. He can see goals.
Be an interesting game.
Max Steve says 4-0 to Tottenham. Sleepy Mocha says 1-1. Lower expectations. Malik Waka says 3-1 to Spurs. Nashin Goya says 4-1 to Spurs. And I will come to you, Adrian, in a second.
Chang's sign language for the deaf.
The real Patrick says 3-1 to Spurs with Cario man-of-the-man performance inbound. EZ says 3-0 to Spurs and a third clean sheet in a row.
Yeah.
Dad Chuck says 4-1 to the Hammers. Hammers ain't playing in this game. Right, so with that, Adrian, I'm going to start these ones so I can get to these. Adrian's your score and your goal scorers.
2-1 Spurs, brace from Son.
2-1 to Spurs and a brace from Son. Right, we've got Ben A says Spurs 3, Ipswich 1. Tell on the score sheet for sure. Kevin Hillman is going for a 3-0 to Tottenham. Rohan Waltz 2-1 hard-fought victory. Siggy Helgeson is 2-0. Tell with both goals. And with that, I'll move on to you, Chang.
I am sticking to my 2-1 prediction, much like Mr. Kruger's exact same scoreline that I made on Wednesday at noon over on the Perfect Match with both Miss Kate and Mr. James. And I would very much love to see Son get on the score sheet. I honestly feel that he just needs a goal to get himself going. I don't care how ugly, how scrappy, how fortuitous his goal may be. He just needs to get on the score sheet. Failing which, I think the bare minimum for him this afternoon would be an assist. And having said that as well, I also do hope that Matthias Tell, will be able to open his account for us in the league. And I think this would be the perfect platform for him to do so. I really was hoping that he would do it last Sunday against United, but unfortunately, the few chances that fell kindly for him, he wasn't able to convert them. So hopefully, he's had more time to train, works a better understanding with his new teammates now that he's been with us for close to a month now, having joined at the end of January before the closure of the transfer window. So I would very much love to see Son and Tel get on the score sheet, and I will be sticking to my 2-1 away win for us, Jose. Honestly, I really couldn't care less if you ask me right now who are the scorers, because any win, I would take any win, even if it's a 1-0 controversial penalty. I'll take a controversial penalty all day, and we can get slacked off for conning the referee or the officials, or diving a bit too hard to win it. But I would take any sort of win, just to have 3 wins on the trot, which I think would set us up nicely for City in midweek. But come what may, at the end of full time, I am still fully behind the players, the management, and Nick Ange. And for the umpteenth time on the show, cannot wait for kickoff to get underway. Hopefully, in 2 hours' time, by about 3:30, we have something positive to get our Saturdays and our weekends off on the right foot. And having said that, back to you, FA.
So the 3 people that have joined me today are all can be found here on Spurs Diehards TTID. So subscribe to Adrian, Ian, and Chan. If you haven't done so already, get over there. Show the boys some love. Show the boys some support. I was going to say that with yesterday's Brentford win, right, it now means that Brentford and Brighton, before we kick off today, are both 7 points clear of Tottenham. So I think today is a win. It's a must for us in order to try and close that gap and to try and get some sort of a run-in towards the end of the season, to try and finish as high as we can, salvage some of what we've lost already. So therefore 3 points are really important today. At the moment, with Man United and Everton drawing, Everton go above us by 1 point, and Man United come on to 30 points, which is what we are on. But Man United's goal difference is 19 worse than Tottenham. Saying that, Everton's is 16 worse than Tottenham. So, at the end of the day, a win's a win. And that's what we need today. So,
league placings, European places will be interesting this season, because, if we get the coefficient place, that's 5 ECL spots. But if we win the Europa League, or say Man United win it and we don't, and that gives you 6 ECL spots, and there could even be a 7th spot if an English team wins the Champions League, right? There could actually be 7 Champions League spots with 2 UEFA places. That would be 9, and 1 for the conference. It could go down to 10th. It's unlikely. It's unlikely to work out that way, but 9th, I think, we'll get Europe this year. I think we'll get the 5th spot, coefficient spot, and then the 2. We'll get 8. We definitely 8 places, but it was 8 last year. But if we win it 9th, if Liverpool win it or whatever, I think there'll be a 9th spot. I'm not sure. It can work anyway.
Are there any more people that want to put their predictions into the chat before I give mine? At the moment, we have Foot Choco says 3-0, Spence Johnson Moore. Sam Hibbs says 3-1. Angelo says that his mum and dad never used to let him stay up this late. We also have Sam Hibbs said 3. Sam Hibbs has changed his scoreline to 3-0 from 3-1. And then you've got Daniel Husen says only 1-0 to Spurs, and Tell will score the goal. And then you also have Benson Mirage says 4-1 to Spurs. Graham Milner says 1-3 to Spurs. Has to be a convincing performance. For me, guys, I do a prediction show on a Friday, and in my prediction show, I this is before knowing what the lineups were going to be. I turned around and I said that I felt that with players coming back for Tottenham and the break for Tottenham as well, in not having to play 2 games in a week, that we'd be stronger for this, and we owe one to Ipswich, and I thought we'd go out and put a performance today. So I went one better than Ian. I've gone for a clean sheet again. I used to love my clean sheets, and we didn't used to get them. And now we've got 2 on the bounce. So I am going for the 3rd clean sheet on the bounce, and I'm going for Tottenham to win this game 4-0. And I really don't care who scores the goals, as long as we go out and we do exactly what we should be doing and put teams away. Nice, the earlier the better, and then to close the gap on them teams above us. Tony Bones has come in with 7-0 to Tottenham. There we go. You've got Graham's here. Says, afternoon, gents. Come on, you Spurs.
Hi, Graham.
A 0-4 Spurs win. Gino La says 0-0. Seriously, 2-1 Spurs won't be easy. They're fighting to stay up. That you can say that about Leicester, and Leicester got pumped 4-0 yesterday. They're fighting to stay up. You see Southampton are supposedly fighting to stay up. They're getting pumped. And these teams aren't finding results. They're finding it pretty difficult to pick up any points. Bobby K says good morning to the whole panel.
Hi, Bobby.
And to everyone in the chat. And then Bobby's come in with the 7-2 Spurs. Let's go. Good morning, Bobby. I hope you're well. So, yeah, with that being said, any final thoughts from you before we wrap up, Adrian?
No, not really. I just think that I'm confident. I felt confident the moment I woke up today. We're going to win this game. So just feel that we're going to win, and then we can look forward to having even more players coming back. I'm confident we're going to have a very strong finish to the season, and I believe we'll win the Europa League because I had a tenner on it at 9-2.
Ian?
Yeah, I like it when someone says they wake up confident. That's usually a good sign. Yeah, I just want to add one thing to what's been said. We were talking about Chang earlier, and I'd had my spot, so I shut up. One thing I absolutely abhor about social media is somebody, plays 2 games or whatever. Maybe not at their absolute best. 19, foreign country, different system, different club, and people are dissing them as oh, he's useless. What a waste of time. Give the boy a chance for sake. He's 19. Give him time. He's clearly got ability in spades. You don't get to play for Bayern unless you've got ability in spades. Whether they end up letting him go or not, it doesn't matter. So give the boy a chance. Hi, Kate and Jim. Hi. Give the boy a chance. Let's see what he can do. A couple of goals. Amazing what that will do for his confidence. So, yeah, go tell. Really like the boy.
So Kate is giving us a 3-2 victory to Spurs. No goal scorers, but 3-2 will take that. Chang, final thoughts from you, sir?
Well, I really do hope that the lads are up for it now that they know whom they are playing against. I'm pretty sure that both teams would have had their say, or rather had their team talks in a dressing room. I think they are still going through their paces. They're still doing their warm-ups, but it will be very interesting to see how both teams, how the home teams start at home against us, and how our own players start the game away on our travels. I really do hope that we do get a clean sheet, although 3 consecutive clean sheets in the league might be a bit of an ask given how badly we performed. But I do have hope that maybe, just maybe, Kevin Danso may be the long-term answer as a sort of a squad player, which the more I think about it, he might even be a proper starter, assuming assuming that Romero is on his way out in the summer. But I think I'm not going to speculate on that. I am more focused and interested on the outcome of this game that we have at hand. I'm not even going to turn my attentions towards City. Having said that, I really do hope that we do put in a performance and we go all out for the win, regardless of whom we have available for City, or even the Europa fixtures once the first leg gets underway. I really do hope the players do stand up and be counted for. Having said that, I am expecting big things. I really, really am expecting big things from both Son and Johnson. And for the likes of Udogi, who's returning, this is the best time. If there was a better time for him to just make amends for his abysmal performances the first half of the season, now's the time to make amends. And as for Vicario, I really, really love his body language, his leadership qualities. If you have seen the clips, if you have seen the individual highlights of him sort of shouting commands, giving pep talks to Bergvall and Gray when they came on against United, it was such a welcome sight. And I really am expecting him to really put in a proper shift between the sticks for us, because if we are to get anything from this match, I think we're going to have to rely on him to see us through over the finish line. Having said that, last but not least, to each and every single one of you watching us right now, thank you very, very much for being here with us for this pre-match pump up. Please do hit the like and subscribe button before the end of the stream. We really, really do appreciate your patronage of this channel. And if you've liked the trio of us from Spurs Diehards, give us a visit yourself. Give us a visit over on Spurs Diehards TTID. We really do welcome members, and looking forward to seeing a few couple of you over there on our next live stream. Having said that, thank you very, very much, Jose, for having the three of us. And without further ado, back to you.
So thank you very much, everyone. Kate's come in with a 3-2, but she's given the scorers of Kulu, Tell and Spence. Got a few more results. William Tuttle says 5-0. Mud FC says 3-0. And Jake Pryor says 3-1. And Katie Davis is going 2-0. Stay with us here, or stay with what We Are Tottenham TV, because coming up right now after we finish here is the live watch along. So thank you very much, everyone, and I hope everyone has a really good weekend. And I will finish off by saying, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.